So since the conditional itself is equivalent to a disjunction, it is interesting to describe the negation of a conditional. And from this theorem in this slide, we can tell that the negation of a conditional is a conjunction statement. So in other terms, to negate P implies Q, you will end up with P and not Q. Let's describe what the reason for this is. Keep in mind that P implies Q is equivalent to a disjunction from a previous slide, and the disjunction is not P or Q. So to negate P implies Q, all I have to do is negate not P or Q. And I could easily do that using De Morgan's law. And De Morgan's law basically says your or statement turns into an and statement when you negate, provided that you negate the left and the right side of that. And so suddenly, using the double negation law, our negation turns into P and not Q. This is very useful, and you should try to remember that the negation of an if-then statement, it is not an if-then statement as well. This is a common mistake that happens in this class. So if you're negating if something, then something, your negation is not going to have the words if and then. It will have the word and instead. Let's take a look at an example. So let's take a look at how to negate if Al was with Bob, then Al is innocent. First of all, we would like to agree on certain variables to represent each part of the sentence. Using these definitions, I can rewrite my sentence as P implies Q. Now I know that the negation of P implies Q is P and not Q, so all I have to do is replace the letter P with Al was with Bob, the letter Q with Al is innocent, and negate Al is innocent to end up with the solution Al was with Bob and Al is not innocent. Notice that the negation of a conditional turns into a conjunction. This is important. I don't see the words if then in my final answer. All I see are the words and also the negation of the Q. Let's practice this one more time using this example. If Sarah lives in Athens, then she lives in Greece. Again, I'm going to begin by defining the variables P and Q to represent Sarah lives in Athens and she lives in Greece. Using these definitions, my sentence in question can be written as P implies Q. And again, the negation of P implies Q is P and not Q. Therefore, to negate if Sarah lives in Athens, then she lives in Greece, I end up with Sarah lives in Athens and she does not live in Greece.